to the Middle East. Dr. Ali Al-Buridi, welcome to our presentation today. I also welcome you as a fellow member of the Board of Directors of the Bridge Alliance, and I'm very happy that you are able to join us today. For those who don't know Ali, Dr. Al-Buridi got a doctorate degree from the Institute of Higher Judges and also had his scope of practice to advise international companies between the Middle East, China, inbound, outbound from China to the Middle East, European as well as United States. And whenever I think of Ali, I think of the expert in the region, and I'm very honored to have you here on board. Ali, welcome to this presentation. Welcome.
Okay, thank you. Thank you, everyone. I am glad and honored to participate in this international event, which we can exchange ideas and learn from each other. I will focus in my expertise in family protocol in Saudi Arabia. Arab from the beginning of history, as they are located in the middle of the globe, used to have trading activity, and we see the Silk Road from our friends in China come through from Middle East to our friends in the West, Europe mainly, before USA was discovered. Family, in Saudi culture and in Arab culture is very important, and it is usually to be wide and big families, not what they call it a nuclear family. It is, we consider all relatives, even if they are, far, we consider them part of the family. So this gives family business more importance because of the culture. That's why usually businessmen prefer to work in the family, and the business stay in the family. And the Saudi families, well known. We have bin Mahfoud, Al-Rajihi, Abdul Latif Jamil, Al-Mahedib, and a lot other names became well known in the world through their contribution and their wealth around the world. Family business constitute around more than 50% of non-oil and non-government economy, and the majority of them under limited liability companies. So there is we will look at it from this way, as family and as a company. Always there is concentration of the wealth in Saudi family with the father. Usually, it is the male members of the family who start the business, either father or the older or the senior brother. So this culture of used to have male culture to control the business for the family. Now with the new vision of Crown Prince Mohammed bin Salman bin Abdul Aziz, start to establish the female role, and we see many female taking high leadership in the private sector and even in the government. So seniority is very important in the family. The tradition still in Saudi Arabia is very important, and there is pride of the family name, so they use it in their companies and they emphasize on it. Also, we can see in family business there is speed in decision and more, risk taking because there is confidence between the family member, and he know that if he take decision, the other will support him. If we, look at corporate governance challenge in Saudi Arabia, the corporate governance itself is new in Saudi Arabia. Yes, in the last decade, there is a lot of papers and studies and conferences about it, but still it is new, and for my opinion, there is not a lot of companies adopting it. So that's why still the experience in this field is not very deep. So it is need more focus and more, there is centers for it, but still this important part of business still not addressed fully in Saudi Arabia. The awareness itself is not as it should be about the importance of this. So we see just today, I have consultation about one family. It's constitute of brothers, and they are working for tens of years, and there is no registration even for ownership. So there is real estate. It is for the three brothers, but it is registered under one of them because of the trust. Then he died. So it's now very hard to solve this because there is no documentation. There is no, it is all, to prove that other two brothers' ownership in this real estate. So government took, measures took decisions and make laws to help in establishing family business and put it in the right track, and to eliminate and to reduce the possibility of conflict between the family, because this will be double lose when there is conflict between the family, losing of wealth and losing of the relative. So that's why it's needed full attention. Laws in Saudi Arabia based in Sharia, and Sharia is part of Saudi constitution, Sharia has general rules and basic rules. It can be, driven from it can, the principle of justice, the principle of truth, the principle also of documentation. It is well mentioned in Quran and in Sunnah, the Prophet saying, peace be upon him, to emphasize in writing and making every transaction, every important transaction in writing. If it is can, the Arab when Islam start was not the writing nation, but in Quran it is ordered to make important things by writing. If there is nobody know how to write, so should be two witnesses in it. So the values of contains values of justice, respect, honesty, cooperation, solidarity between family is there. So it can be good start for family to build on it. Sharia also intervene on the way of practice. So we all know about riba, which is mean loan with interest, and alcohol is prohibited. Pork, such activity, it is prohibited by Sharia, and this many the majority of businesses in Saudi Arabia observe these values and didn't conduct business in such activity which is not encouraged by Sharia. There is also support between family member. It is in Sharia, it is obligation. It is obligating that the narrative supports each other. So father to support his son, it is obligatory, even if he is old.
So the thought was that you would then read the questions to Ali.
Sorry? Sorry?
Ali, sorry for that. I just mentioned your name because we are getting a couple of questions in, but continue. I'm sorry to interrupt.
Yeah, okay, it's okay. So also, again, seniority in family, it is ordered by, by Sharia to respect father and mother and the old, brothers and sisters. So this is important and affect the culture and how things is dealt with in the family. Also, the basics of inheritance. This is very important because this is how to distribute the wealth. So it is in Sharia very defined. It is not up to the person to say whether he likes somebody or not like it. No, there is a certain rule and how to divided the wealth after one of family member pass away. Only the person has control on only 30% of his wealth. He can make will after he die. Before he die, he make will. So it will be obligated to execute after he die. But he can't make will for more than 30%, and this will shouldn't be to one of his inheritance, should be to somebody else. So will, donation, all things of this can use to make, can use in making the family protocol. So you can use the wealth, the will, you can make a donation as long as you are live, but if it is after death, it will be will. So it will be only limited to 30%. But donation, you can donate all your money while you are alive. This is your money. But after death, it will be distributed according to Sharia, 70% to inheriting. If there is will, you have and up to 30%, and the other go to inheritor also again. A very important also way of making to regulate the family is to make waqf, endowment. That means you designate particular, real estate or property, and make it waqf or endowment. That means nobody can sell it, so it will continue. Only can utilize, and its profit can be distributed as you wish, as the one who make it wish. So waqf is very important tools to use to organize the wealth within the family. Based on this, Saudi Arabia make laws also can be substance for family protocol, which is first, the base of it, companies law. So organizing the family wealth of company, very important, because company can outlive the one who established it and the shareholder in it. So very important to utilize this, and I have to notice that still the individual establishment or sole ownership for the business still widespread practice, but government and all legal experts is advising to have it in the form of company. Also, the government make family companies governance guidelines starting to 2014. So the family can be use these guidelines to organize themselves, but this guidelines is not obligatory. It is just guidelines if the family want to take from them to ease reference. There is also corporate governance regulations for joint stock company, so that's why it is more advisable to take the legal form of joint stock company, because it is easier to transfer. The majority of problem is how to transfer the wealth, and if there is conflict on how to run the company, how to solve this conflict. So as usual, it is emphasized and it is advisable to separate between ownership and management to make the company run more professionally and make it established for second and third generation. There is also National Center for Family Entities. So it is like, a specialized center to help families and making awareness about all matters, helping in establishing the governments for the company. Also, there is regulation for family fund. This is, you can make like a fund for the family. So this is a separate entity, can utilize it to mitigate any risk and have another source of wealth for the company. Still, finally, still there is a lot of work should be done to enforce this regulation and make it not only for choice, but to obligate it to the families and for their businesses. And this, I think, very important to safeguard the wealth of the companies. This is in a nutshell what I want to speak about, and I am happy to have any question in this regard. Thank you.
Thank you, Ali, for the insight into Sharia and Waqf, which I honestly have to admit, before you and I talked about the Waqf, I never heard of the concept of the Waqf, which is loosely translated to a Stiftung in Liechtenstein or whatever other countries use for similar concepts. I do see that we have Julian Dawson on the screen as well, and Julian will be moderating the Q&A for Ali. Julian, the floor is yours.
Thank you. Ali, we received a couple of questions during your discussion. The first question is, may we have a brief on Saudi Arabian inheritance law and some insights into that, like precedents about siblings or couples?
Yes, thank you. It is, as usual in Sharia, very simple and very, straightforward. So it is divided, the inheritance and the wealth according to the how close the person to the one who is passed away. So the son, and the sons and daughters is very near for him, and also father and mother. Why son and daughter? Because it is usually maybe more need after he died. So if we have somebody, to give you an example of father and mother is there, and son and daughter, the one son and daughter and one father and mother, it will divided like this. The mother will take 1/6 of the inheritance, and the father will take the other 1/6. So it will be 1/3 go to father and mother divided between them. The rest of it, if there is a wife or husband, they will take, in case of husband, 1/4, because he is one who is spent. This is the idea. Always the female not need to spend anything. The male who will spend. So if there is a wife, it will take 1/8. So her son has to spend on her. Even if it take 1/8, it will take it for herself. No need to spend on herself. So her son should spend. So if there is a husband, he'll take 1/4. So always, in majority of cases, in the same narrative, in the same degree of the closeness of the pass away one, it will be usually the male will take twice what the female took. So in son and daughter, the son will take twice what the daughter have. Then we go to, if these people not there, I mean the near son, father, mother, so we will go to brothers and sister after that. But if this people is there, so there is no brother and sister can take from inheritance. This is initial and very fast. It is depend on how close of the, and it is organized by Sharia, so nobody can change or alter. Everybody has its share and knowing it from beginning. So there is no way of conflict or such things.
Thank you, Ali. A second question from the audience is, we would like to clarify about wills, and to what extent may the will be made is that all statutory, or could it be something more flexible? And I take the question as whether the form of the will is limited by statute, or whether or not there is a certain amount of discretion that may be employed in fashioning wills.
For the will, first of all, it should be while you are healthy, not expecting death, you know. I mean imminent death. Somebody who is sentenced to death, he can't make will, because the idea Sharia wants somebody to make his will in very balanced way. So if he we call it in Sharia like cancer in its late stage, it's, you know, very likely it will affect the life and end the life of the one with this cancer in its final stages. So first of all, you have to be healthy, so to make this will. If you make it at the last, you know, last days of your life, so this is can be, you know, unless the inheritors allow it, because your money now became under the inheritors. So if they allow it, so it is can be done. Will also the other thing, it should be for this is the basic, not for inheritor. So you give will to any other, even if it's far person. You can give it to anybody, or for any reason you want, like charity, any type. So this is the only limitation. Yes, anything prohibited by Sharia, you can't make will for it. If anybody making will for bad things to be done, no, it is prohibited by Sharia. And always Sharia and its rules always supersede any action for others. This is also in Sharia. So the person is not, you know, fully free to make whatever he wants. There is guidelines, but guidelines is very limited, because it is go to certain things. So this is in nutshell how to make, you know, the format. There is no format for will. Any format can done. The most important that expressing, it is clear to express your will. So if there is clear express of the will, it will be okay.
And Ali, if I may jump in, Julian, the way how I read the question is you're in many countries stuck by the law if the person who's dying does not make their own decision. So could somebody override Sharia law as in coming to a different allocation of assets? Or would Sharia law be the overbinding part that the freedom of contractual expression, how you want your estate to be developed, is overridden by Sharia?
Yes, overwritten in certain circumstances. To you know, because when you have certain effects, like the fairness of death, or the atmosphere of death, this will affect your decision. So Sharia always, and it is from Prophet saying that you have to make your will now. In Sharia, and Prophet Muhammad be upon him said, everybody has anything worth, he has make his will, not make it, not delay it more than 3 days. So make your wills and write it, put it in your head before you sleep. This is the idea, to encourage somebody to state his wills in balance and in normal, you know, and in full thinking and in full mind.
Great, thank you, Ali. There was one more question and I'll just read it how it was presented. Some Saudi family failed to stay in the market after the lift of the founders, and the question is, why is that?
Yeah, there is multiple of reasons. First of all, the old, regulations, because it is make condition. Every decision had to be by agreement of all parties. This is very hard. So these regulations make the company can't work after the father or big brother died. So this is now started regulation to make it by majority. Everything has to be agreement of all. There is no agreement, so there is no decision. This is one. The other thing, the concentration of power in one person, and the others will maybe he didn't train his relatives and other members of the family to take him place. And this is a culture also there. It is culture, and we have to admit it. Everyone wants to rule the company and his to stay in full control until even if he more than 100 years. We seldom to see father give it to sons and retire in 60 or 70. I know many of my clients, they are over 80s and still sign every checks. He don't give anybody any authority. So that's why make them, there is no train for the second generation. So when he die, it will be natural, if there is no miracle, that it will fall, because the authority will go to the sons and daughters who are not trained. So this will end the company.
Thank you, Ali. Those are the questions that came from the audience during the Q&A session, and I think we are on time as it relates to our schedule.
Thank you. Thank you all.
Ali, thank you very much. Shukran for joining us today, and it was an insightful part to learn more about Sharia law. Always appreciated. And again, the same reminder goes to all participants. Welcome those who dialed in later. I see a couple of friendly names, friends, long-term acquaintances who popped in, so thank you for doing that. If you have any questions, either to the Chinese presenters or to the presenters from Saudi Arabia, Ali Al-Buridi, please send me an email, send a chat, and we can even forward this after this event today is over. Also, as a little reminder right now, and as a little spoiler alert, we, which is the Bridge Alliance, published this book about the family protocol about a year ago, and the second edition is ready. So a good part of Ali's presentation is printed in the family protocol book. The second edition, there are only very few left of the first edition. The second edition, which has a couple of countries added, including the participation from CELG from China. So there's a new China section in, will be ready for distribution after this event. So if you would like to read up something, let me know and we can organize to get a copy of the family protocol book over to you.